Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we are live. Chaitanya.
Yeah. So, good morning, everyone, and I'm Chaitanya, and it has been my pleasure to know. So, our guest today is very special, and you'll get to know why. And it has been my pleasure to be his friend since about 9 to 10 years. And he was the one to introduce. I can be positive about it that he was the one to introduce and revolutionize aerial photography in India, and he has done a lot more. So Pranshu was also a student of NID photography design, and there are very few people who you can confidently say that have been absolutely unique in what they do. So I don't know what he'll talk about today other than his work, but every aspect of his life is damn interesting. So even in NID, not a lot of people get to work on commercial projects, but Pranshu was the one to dig out a very big project that he worked on during his college time, and after that, during college he founded Pixel, and after that, the rest has been history. And even if today you search for aerial photography or videography in India, his company's name pops up first. Other than that, I hope you guys ask questions about his adventures because he has had quite a few. He has several stories to tell, and all in all, he's just a absolutely fantastic person to talk to and be with in company. So, Pranshu, I hope you guys enjoyed, and Pranshu will hand it over to you now.
Thank you. Okay, so कैसे start किया जाए चैतन्य? Okay, so मैं 2011 से 13 बैच में था, and NID में मेरा ऐसा था कि मेरा इंटरेस्ट स्टार्टिंग में मैं BCA कर रहा था. BCA के बाद मेरा इंटरेस्ट नहीं था उसमें इतना, तो खैर BCA करके मैंने वो MC का जो इंटीग्रेटेड कोर्स था, I left that course after taking a BCA degree, and then I took a 1-year drop. And after that, my family was saying that if you have to do something in photography, you better take a degree so that, you know, it's helpful in future. शादी वादी में डिग्री लगा दिखानी रही तो वो रहेगा, और कुछ जॉब वॉब रही तो डिग्री दिखाने के लिए सही रहेगा. So then I applied for NID और eventually वहाँ पे मेरा एडमिशन हो गया. And then NID में भी मतलब फर्स्ट ईयर तो समझने में ही लग गया, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे फोटोग्राफी कोर्स वाज वेरी न्यू एंड उतनी फैसिलिटीज नहीं थी कॉलेज में, क्योंकि इक्विपमेंट्स उस टाइप के नहीं थे. सो फर्स्ट ईयर वहाँ पे ऐसे ही निकल गया सब लोगों का. बट देन आई वाज इंटरेस्टेड इनटू कमर्शियल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ फोटोग्राफी, बिकॉज ऐसा था कि अभी फोटोग्राफी में यहाँ पे और इन्वेस्ट ओपन कर रहे हैं, सो व्हाट इज द आउटपुट ऑफ इट. देन आई स्टार्टेड फाइंडिंग वेरियस ऑप्शंस कि कहाँ पे हम फोटोग्राफी की कमर्शियल एस्पेक्ट को लेके फ्यूचर अपना जो है उसको अलाइन कर सकते हैं प्रॉपरली. सो मैंने ये फिगर आउट किया कि लाइक एवरी फील्ड हैज अ पायोनियर person who is doing a good job. For example, advertising has a photographer who is known for advertising photography. Then there is a wedding. So in wedding, there is a person who is known for wedding photography. In every field, there is someone who has a name, who is in the first place. So, but there was no one who was doing a real estate photography. So, and also most of the real estate people used to have 3D images. So they used to promote all their content with the 3D images. So I thought, why should not, you provide them the actual good property photos so that they can use that actual photo in their advertisements. So I started figuring out. I was in Gandhinagar campus. So the basic first thing was to, see who is in the market. So मैं जो टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया का प्रॉपर्टी एडिशन आता था, I start to collect those Saturday Sunday edition, and then I created a list of builders who are playing in Gandhinagar market and who are putting a lot of money into advertisements and all. So after collecting all these newspapers of 4 to 5 months, I identified one name who is putting a lot of money, and then I thought to reach that person. And then I started sending email to different email IDs, whatever I found on their website. And eventually one day they called me that our CEO wants to meet you. So I went there and showed my work, but as he was a Gujarati client, he was not very, keen on seeing the work, but to know the cost. So I gave him some cost, and then he bargained a little, and then we closed that project. So after 1 year, means I got a project, you can say, worth of 6 lakhs, which I finished in four weeks. And I was, able to get back my whole fees of the college, and I bought all the equipments. And hence, this is how I started my commercial projects. And then I know that real estate segment is the segment where there is a lot of money, and there is no one, means not a lot of people who are targeting that segment. So the competition is very less. So if I go in that particular field, it's easy to go ahead and go very fast. So then I started approaching all other different real estate builders. And by the time I finished my course, I created some content which was very unique. For example, gigapixel images. And then drone was about to come, like consumer drones were not there in the market that time. It's in 2012. So I went to one hobby flyer. I told him to make a drone, not a drone. That time it was called quadcopter or a hexacopter, basis on the number of wings. So I got made this hexacopter, and I used to fly in our college campus after, in the evening time. So every day I used to fly and practice on flying. So, and then I started promoting I made a website at that time itself, and I started promoting aerial photography in India. At that time, I was not having a camera on my drone, but I started promoting aerial photography in India, so that by the time I will be having something in my hand, my website will also be having, some kind of footfall, and people will call, inquire, and then place an order for something. So this thing started. Then by the time I passed out from NID, I had some projects which were online and they went viral. One of them was Udaipur Gigapixel. So Gigapixel is basically an image which has multiple, you click multiple zoom images and then stitch them together and place it online to see as an interactive viewing. So that project went online. It went viral also. Got some lakhs of view within a day or two. And then this website went to Mumbai. Real estate people saw this website, and then I got a call from a broker agency that they want to get done something like this for their Mumbai client. And then I went to Mumbai. I went to meet these people. They were housing.com. So they said, we want to, capture 10 of the properties of our client. So you can start from tomorrow. That was my first visit to Mumbai. I was not having any equipment with me. I said, I can't start with tomorrow. I can start day after tomorrow. They said, okay. I went back home. I took all my equipments, came back to Mumbai on the next day, and then I started shooting the projects. And after those 10 projects, then Housing gave me an offer that you join Housing team, take 20 lakhs of salary and 20 lakh of cash to sell off your company. But then I said, no, it's not possible because my independence is what I like. So if I join the company, then my independence will not be there. So that conversation went ahead and I rejected it. And then what happened, like Housing started their own drone segment, but they were not very keen, means they hired pilot who just go and fly the drone. And then the quality thing was missing, because when I go to execute a project, I ask what is the height of the building, what view is more important to the builder, what exactly they want to promote for a particular property. So that those were the things which were missing from the housing side. So these 10 people who got the shoot done initially, they tried to find out that who was shooting for housing before, after this thing. So they got my contact directly, and then they started calling me. So first, for example, say I started working with 5 companies. Then these people who were the employees, like marketing manager or other people, they left job, they joined some other company, they called me there. So it's like a chain reaction. So I never had to, market my business as such, because I started as a early mover advantage, you can say. I only, promoted my company once on LinkedIn. So I put an ad where I targeted like real estate companies, and also, in LinkedIn, you can select to whom this ad should be seen. So I selected CEO, CXO, VP and all, and selected all the best companies of Mumbai real estate and put this ad for 5,000 rupees. And this was seen by one of the VP from Kalpataru Properties. They have a lot of projects in Mumbai. So their VP then gave this mission to their marketing manager that just call this person and get this thing done. Then I was called by their marketing manager, and then they gave me 20 projects to shoot in 2014. Then I completed all those, 20 projects in 20 days. So like this, it started, and then it went like chain reaction. So some of the people who were there, who were marketing manager at that time, are now CMO in some of the companies. So now we have a relation with them. Like they don't call anyone else, but they know me personally from 2012. So they call me and we get the things done. So this is how, I built my place in the market. Now, if you have some question, maybe Chaitanya, if you can, give a direction to the talk. CS has requested.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So, other than your work always being of professional quality, I know your whole work ethic has revolved around supplying work that looks good and is competitive on international scale. Even your gigapixels, even your aerial photographs, even your 360 virtual tours. But what I find special about your work ethic is that you're always ahead of the curve. As you said, first mover advantage, right? So you were the first to bring gigapixel, at least commercially. You were the first to bring 360 photography, and you were the first to bring aerial photography. So how do you manage to bring in these things, converting it into businesses that is completely separate? Ki usse you are getting profit and you're getting good clients. And let me tell people that he has had clients like Maruti and Godrej, and I don't know if Tata, but he has shot for some very huge companies. तो आप हमेशा how are you able to bring these technologies, and are you finding it difficult now because of everybody having access to internet on a scale जो पहले नहीं था? How do you manage that?
So see, now drones have become one of the things. Matlab, aisa, I can say like this opportunity not comes every year or every month. So you were there, I was there at the right time, and I started one thing at the right time. So this thing is now taking me ahead, because after that also there were many things which came into the market. For example, 360 videos or AR or VR, but I never explored those places, because nowadays people, as soon as the technology comes in, people jump on it. So we have to find something which gives you an entry barrier. So for example, in drones, the entry barrier was how to fly, because at that time the drones were not very easy to fly. It was all manual control, and right now the drones are easily available which are ready to fly. At that time the drones were not ready to fly kind of system. You have to buy 10 things, make like assemble them together and then fly. So that was an entry barrier. So even now, if I think that if someone has to start something new, then they have to find something which has kind of entry barrier, and then you can cross that entry barrier, so that by the time the other janta will cross this entry barrier, you will be already doing something else in that field. So now also I'm finding something, you know, which has some kind of entry barrier, so that I can work on crossing that entry barrier, and once I cross it, then I can go ahead by the time other janta will come into. So we have to find something which is not very very easy to do.
How big is your team?
Oh, my team is one person, as you can see below my name, Karta Dharta. So I only handle everything like client communication, shooting at site, then account handling, follow-up payment, sending courier to the client, printing invoice. For editing purpose, I have freelancers. So whenever there are video related projects where text tracking and that kind of animation has to be done, then I have freelancers who work on various projects.
And I remember that even when you started to get, when you got your first client, and ये problem सारे at least photography from photography department in NID, that they don't market is saturated, so they don't really easily get jobs or freelance projects as well. But still, you never compromised on your price, and you always aimed big. So how do you think about not compromising in places where?
So I will tell you one very, very interesting psychology. So what happened, for example, nowadays there are a lot of drone pilots in the market, and drones have already inbuilt feature. For example, if I take a 360 panorama, initially I had to take, changing the drone location, take picture, shifting it, take picture, and then assemble all those images together. Nowadays, drone have inbuilt feature where you just click a single button, drone will automatically rotate and capture all the direction images, stitch it together as well. So now you have to play on a psychological part. For example, if Chaitanya is my client and he is taking quotes from 2 different people or maybe 5 different people, I told him, Chaitanya, that one panorama will cost you maybe 80,000 rupees. While as the other drone pilot who recently bought drone will say, Chaitanya, that one panorama will cost 10,000 rupees. Now, Chaitanya has huge money, like a real estate people. He has a huge money. So he's not thinking about that cost factor in that manner, but he's thinking why this thing is 80,000, why this thing is 10,000. So maybe, 80,000 thing is better. For example, if you have money and if you have to buy a car, you already know that a 16 lakh car is better than a 10 lakh car. Even though you don't know most of the feature about the car, but in your mind, you know that the thing which is costly is better. So same thing happened here also. So when I started quoting higher prices, I used to get higher prices because people think that, the costlier thing is more better. And once you have that kind of clientele with you as well, so people also, then more confident with you that, okay, there must be something that he's quoting high, and that's why. So even if I'm shooting with the same kind of drone or hardware and charging 10x, then also I get 10x amount. So you have to somehow play with the psychology of people and understand like how you can, find out the gap and go into.
Pranshu, you mentioned that you're still like a 1% team, karta dharta, as you said.
Uh-huh.
So, like other companies who hire, a lot of different people who will do a lot of drone shoots. Are you planning to do that kind of a thing, or not planning to do, and why?
No, so what I have eventually faced is if I go to some site and do the work, whereas I send someone and get it done. So when I'm sending someone, once I have to invest my time to arrange everything, and second time I have to invest my time again to see what he has done and what he has not done correctly, and then again giving him instructions to do it right. So what I can do in 3 hours, I have to invest 12 hours in that. because it's not, the machine is automatic, it's fine, machine is very easy to handle. But at one point when the composition comes into the frame, the photography part, then not everyone has that kind of composition sense. So even if you hire someone who can fly the drone, but they don't understand the camera angles and the compositions. So if you have someone who knows both of the things, then you can trust on. Otherwise, it's very difficult to find such kind of person. So I don't think that I trust a lot of people in this. So whatever work I want to do, I want to execute by my own, so that there is a work satisfaction. Because I have seen during the lockdown time, I used to, outsource the project to the local teams. So there's a lot of difference what I think that the shot would be and what I get when the shot is done. And that, creates a lot of dissatisfaction in the work, that what you think that the post would be look like, it doesn't look like that. So I don't think that I will scale up. Also, there is a independence factor. If I scale up my business, then I have to look for these 10 people whom I am giving salary, and then I have to, be present every moment. But now, if I don't want to work, I want to go out and travel, I can simply, shut down my system and go out, come back and start my system. So I feel that one person army is better than taking 100 people with you and then get into it with your completely, you lose your mind.
And of course, all the profit.
Yeah. And then divide the profit as well.
Yeah. So your work profile and the field that you work in, aerial photography, videography, is still very sketchy in India. We still don't have absolute rules and absolute guidelines. So you must have had encounters with authorities. So can you tell us about one or two incidents where?
Yes. So as I work here with real estate industries, most of the things are taken care by real estate builders, because they have that kind of power. How real estate and how these people who have money works. So like out of 50 shoots, you can say like one thing not go with you.
And so I was wondering, do you have any? You were, as an NIT photography student, you had a very different perspective of what you want from the college. And students normally, you never romanticized NIT photography design, or so what was your perception then? Has your perception changed? And abhi ke students ko, what would you like to say if you want to say anything to them?
So I want to say that कि अभी कॉलेज आपको सिर्फ एक ओरिएंटेशन दे सकता है, सिर्फ आपको एक डायरेक्शन दिखा सकता है, या मे बी आपको सिर्फ एक वो टाइम दे सकता है जो आपको खुद के लिए सोचने के लिए चाहिए. It was that in my case, because I was not interested at all in the design part of photography or the art part of photography. But that specific 2 years of time gave me time to understand myself or to understand how the market is going on. And I was from Indore, so I went to Ahmedabad. So I got to see how things are in the big city. So of course, Ahmedabad was bigger than Indore. There were many, things which were better than Indore. So you get to know the other city. You get to know how your perspective can go bigger with the bigger place. So my photography course was not at all going to help me if I, seriously do in that way. So mera yahi hai ki first you have to think what you do after this course. You have to find your own way and create your own way. The college education is not going to help you to find your career, specifically in photography, because वो field में आपका क्या input है, how you are performing is going to decide your future. So if you like art photography, I'm not saying don't do it. You follow that also, but in that also you have to find a place which can, give you a bread and butter, because just by doing art photography, or design photography or whatever your design thinking and all is not going to give you money. So if you have to survive and follow your passion of art photography, you also have to play somewhere commercially a little bit so that the things are balanced. So जो अभी लोग पास आउट होंगे या होने वाले हैं उनको मैं यही बोलूंगा कि you have to find out a place, you have to find out a way जहाँ पे आप अपने चीज़ों को थोड़ा सा कमर्शलाइज एंगल देके सोचें and try to find out a gap कि आप जिस फील्ड में काम कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे कहाँ पे गैप है and then start tapping that gap, and eventually one day will be there when you are lucky and the gap is also empty and then you get a chance to fill that gap.
So very interesting, Pranshu. So can you show that like some of the project, or if possible the Udaipur that gigapixel image which you had made?
Okay.
Like we remember you had printed it and like installed in the campus in a long corridor. So we have like diverse audience. So like how you added interactivity and how did it, people how connected it with that. That story will be interesting.
Okay, so I'll share my screen. So Udaipur gigapixel. So gigapixel images were made previously in abroad countries like Paris and all, cities like Paris and all. But no one was exploring that kind of technology over here. Simple thing is, in India, we have a mentality that why do we invest in something which don't have a return? So we don't want to experiment. We don't want to try something which is not giving us return. So I thought, let's do something and create something, and then we can show that ready-made example to someone so that the other person can also visualize the power of it. So when I was in NID, I started thinking about making this gigapixel image. Gigapixel is basically an image which is made up of multiple megapixels. So if you create an image which is 1000 megapixel, it becomes a gigapixel image. So I started searching for a place which I can shot in a gigapixel format. So I visited several cities to find out an opportunity, and as Ahmedabad is closer to Udaipur, I thought I'll shoot Udaipur in a gigapixel format. And also, as I said, I was not interested in art photography, and also I told my HOD that I want to create a gigapixel in my final year project. Though he was not agree with me. He said there should be something related to art. This thing is very technological, anyone can do this technology, so what is new in that? I said, if it's new, if anyone can do this technology, why it's not done in India till date? So at least we should try. So eventually he got agreed, but he said you have to somehow put some art angle into it, go meet that faculty and ask. So I said, okay, I'll go and meet. I went also, I met them, listen what they said, but at the end I wanted to do what I want. So I went to Udaipur multiple times to find a perfect day when the weather is also clear. Every time I used to go with all the equipments, and then one day I got a clear day. We shot these images for around 4 to 5 hours. It was a robotic head which my camera is installed on that head, and I assigned that I want to shoot from left corner, right corner. I assigned specifically the grid of my frame. And then it was around 1500, 1600 individual images taken on 600 lens. So maybe a single photo is just a window of someone's house. And such images, such 1600 images, which is covering the whole cityscape. Then I was having a laptop, Dell laptop with a 16 GB RAM, 2.4 gigahertz processor, and it took around 7 days to stitch those 1600 images together. After stitching, it was a single file which you can't open on Photoshop because the size limit was 30,000 pixels. So now how can I see that file? So then I have to buy a software which can cut these long images into 8 different parts as per Photoshop's maximum limit. Then take those individual parts, see the stitching error, do the color correction, and then later on you get another single image. Now when you have two different correction on two images, you get a seam bit change line in between those stitching point. Then you cut those images again so that those stitching line comes into the center of single image. Then edit them together. So it took around 3 to 4 months to complete this. Now I will show you screen share and show you the image online. Also, CSS send the link here also. You can check this link basically. It would be better because if I share the screen, it would be not that of the quality. So here you can zoom and see any extreme detail. Anyway, I'll share the screen as well. So I'll take you through what I want to show. Can you see my screen, Bhargav?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this is a gigapixel image. If I show you, this is the left side, this is Jagmandir Palace. You can scroll this image to the extreme right where the whole old city is. This is City Palace. And this is the whole old city of Udaipur. So now the beauty is, for example, if I want to zoom in and see the details. So for example, if I zoom in here on this palace, the image is not getting pixelated and I can see the extreme details of the building, like this paintings, this painting work or whatever work has been done over here. Similarly, if I want to zoom in and see what's on that mountain, I can see and zoom and see the extreme locations. Here now what we have done is we have given the hotspot. So for example, if you want to know about this place, you click here and the history or whatever information you want to see, you can see it on the screen. I have also given the links. For example, you click this button and a YouTube video would play. As this is an old website, those links are not working anymore. If you click here, you can also book the hotel. So the booking page of the hotel will pop up. So something like this, I created this whole interface. So this kind of image at that time in 2013 went viral because there was no such image of any Indian city available that time. And now as well, means no one has tried it till date. So this is the first gigapixel, and after that I have done another gigapixel, Jodhpur gigapixel, which also went viral. So this image is a 16 gigapixel image. You can say 16,000 megapixel. And Jodhpur gigapixel was 24 gigapixel. So that is 24,000 gigapixel. If I can see Jodhpur gigapixel is hosted or not. Yeah, so you can see this is whole Jodhpur city. This is taken from Mehrangarh. Here also you can zoom and see the extreme detail. For example, if I want to zoom and see this clock, see. And you can also see some people are urinating over here. So it was very interesting. People were taking screenshots of the image, putting it online. It went viral in Rajasthan. People were, taking screenshots of their home and sending it to each other that look at my house in this image. I have given up option to, click a particular frame, compose the image and share with a share module. You can share this. So for example, if I want to click Umaid Bhavan, I will create my frame, something like this. I'll zoom, put this in a photo frame and then capture this button. So this will capture and then a share pop-up will open and then I can share this image. Though this is also an old project, the link might not be working properly. So this is how I did these kind of, these are my personal project, because at that time no one was aware about the technology and no one was understanding the potential of such kind of image. But it went viral as they were my own project. I gave my complete time into this, complete effort, complete dedication into these projects. So the return was also something like that. So you can see, you can zoom in anywhere and see the extreme details. You can read text on the board and hoardings. So, and now recently I did a commercial project of on the same thing. So we shot for Abu Dhabi Tourism. So Tripoto was the agency for which I have done the shoot. You must have seen these images. This friend means Tripoto has published it and promoted it. This I have taken on drone because we were not able to get access on any of the towers. So we put a 50 millimeter camera, 50 lens on the drone and shot this image. Here also you can see and zoom, but the zoom is very limited over here because it is shot just on a 50 megapixel. But here also, like, you know, we have nicely put the tags of the places. For example, if you want to see, you click over here and a 360 video or a normal video of this place would pop up. So you can see about you can see the interior views, the information about the place, the photographs of the place. So now it become a kind of a tourism related project where the city tourism gave the contract to us to capture the city in that format. So you can, you know, zoom and see the details. So we, you know, captured the Abu Dhabi city in 3 different panoramas. If you click over here, you can see Yas Island. In Yas Island also, you can see all these Ferrari Park, Ferrari Golf Course, all these details. And once you click over here, you see more detail about the place. You see a 360 video of Ferrari World. So now what I have done in 2013 actually took a commercial project shape in 2019. So it takes a lot of time to, you know, give a shape to a project, but you have to at least prove that you can do this kind of work, and you have to have a one example ready with you so that the person can visualize the project. Otherwise, if I would just say I will make a gigapixel, I'll make a gigapixel, I can make a gigapixel, no one would assign me a project till the time I have not done it once. So I have done it in 2013, I repeated it in 2018, and in 2020, 19-20, I got the first commercial application project of gigapixel. Yeah.
One question, Pranshu, like when you are shooting a city, right, like a whole place, how does the permission thing work? As in, some people, if they don't want to like showcase their place, is there a way they can connect with you? ऐसा कुछ?
So अभी तक like इंडिया में अमेरिका जैसे रूल्स नहीं है कि आप किसी की प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी को शूट नहीं कर सकते, या फेशियल रिलेटेड कि आप किसी पर्सनल को इस इमेज में इन्वॉल्व नहीं कर सकते. बट अगेन, यू नो, इफ समवन सेज समथिंग लाइक दैट, वी कैन एडिट दैट इमेज. बट अभी फिलहाल ऐसा कोई ऑटोनोमस सिस्टम हमने नहीं बनाया है कि शूट करके ऑटोमेटिक एआई के थ्रू वी रिमूव और ब्लर ऑल द पेजेस, ऑल द फेसेस. For permission, it's not as it. This is not shot with a drone. This is shot from a static platform. So for Jodhpur, we were invited by Mehrangarh Fort Trust to shoot the drone thing, and then we utilized that permission to shoot this gigapixel as well. So it happened.
And all this, all the tools that are required, you own them? Like all your tools are your assets? Or
Yes.
you rent?
Yes, all the tools are very specific, and if you want to shoot a gigapixel, you don't find that kind of equipment readily available in the market because it's a very unique kind of project and unique kind of requirement. So I got this thing imported from USA at that time so that I can, you know, do experiment and create something. I'll show you some drone related work so that what applications, how these things are being used in the real estate segment. So drone images, there are different stages of the project. The very first stage is when the architect wants to know what exactly is the view from the site, so that he can decide where, like he can decide the orientation of the building, where should be the 2 BHK and where should be the 3 BHK in a particular floor. So once we take the 360-degree panorama, they see the surrounding. We also provide them a direction sense, like a compass on the image. So they get to know that which direction has the best view, the actual best view. Sometimes, on Google Maps also, you are not able to exactly gauge what is the view. So with the exact panoramic image, 360 panorama, the architect has a very, it gets very easy for him to understand the building orientation. Then basis on that, they design and create the layout of the building, that where he wants to put a 1 BHK. So where there is a lot of slum, they will put 1 BHK. Where there is a garden, they will put 2 BHK. Where there is a sea view, they will put 3 BHK, something like this. And on the later stage, the product team of the real estate person who designs the project and decide the price, they utilize this image. So for example, till 5th floor there is no sea view. As soon as on the 6th floor you able to see the view, the sea view, the price changes. So they get images shoot from every floor. As soon as they see that the sea is visible from a specific floor, they increase the price from that floor onwards. So this helps them to create a price strategy for their product. And at the third level, it is used to sell the apartments. So usually they got it shoot from different, like 3 to 4 different slabs, a top floor view, a middle, and a lower. And then they promote it that way. So for example, I'll show you one 360-degree panorama, which has a transition of day to night, how a place looks into the day, and same place how it looks into the night. So I'll share the screen again. I'll also send you the link in the chat so people can also, open it on their own system. Okay, so here you can see this is a 360-degree panorama taken with a drone, where we have also marked all the landmarks of the city, major landmarks. On the ground here, my upcoming tower will be. So you can see this is a direction compass on the left, which is telling you which direction you are looking at. Now the beauty of this panorama is you select any frame. For example, I want to be on this frame. I click on this day to night transition button over here, and my same frame would convert into the night view. So how a specific frame is a day view, I can convert the same frame into the night view. So for example, if I change my view, I click over here. So the same frame, how it would look into the daytime. So it's, something very interesting for the real estate marketing team to show a place into different time zone, and that too very specific frame, where I keep my camera and just click a night button. So the same frame converts into the night. So this thing was really, appreciated by a lot of real estate groups. And then we shot the similar kind of thing for various projects. Then we do this for projects where we marked all the landmarks. So there are a lot of video shoots we have done which shows the location vicinity. So for example, if I go on YouTube and my channel, so recently we have started a project with a logistic park company, Indo Space, where they want to show where their location is. So you can see how we execute these projects. So here what we do is we assign a route. We first talk to client what exactly they want to show. So for example, they want to show this loop where the 4 routes are coming and then they are joining to KMP Expressway. So this route is coming from Gurgaon, then you take a loop and then go towards Badli. Badli is a place where their park is. Then you follow this route for some kilometers. Then there is a junction where you mark that there is a underpass which you have to take, then come on this road and then follow this road for another 6 kilometers. So when we compile this video with such kind of infographics and text, the medium becomes very informative, and then they use this kind of content to give it to their sales team, which again gives further to their clients to understand the project location. Now here we have given the project details also, that specific land parcel is this much acres. Then this has two kind of section, one is the industrial section, one is a warehousing section. And then again, if you want to show the unit names, so these are the ready units which the client can occupy. We can also provide information of the amenities, like this is upcoming commercial complex, this is a meeting room, it's this much wide road. So the end products becomes very informative to the client. And once you do this kind of work, so now for example, they first told us to do one pilot project on a specific place and they liked the work, so they assigned us 15 more parks to be shot. So right now we have already shot 10 parks and now 5 more parks are to be shot in next month. So that's how it works. Are there any questions?
Yeah. So, I think, Bhargav, I'll just take the question by Prerit because I have something related to it. So Prerit is asking, your technologies and ideas are new. How do you explain or communicate your ideas to your clients so that they can see the value of it? Now, before you answer that, to expand on that also, I remember, so I want to inform people that he is also a very adventurist sort of a person, right? So he plans a lot of trips. And I remember on one trip when we were planning to go, he ended up convincing Oyo rooms to accommodate the whole team for free. And I'm talking about this happening before the world of Instagram influencers, right? So people did not have an idea of this sort of a model. So how do you end up convincing Oyo to provide you with some in this case accommodation, and in other cases how do you convince other companies to see the value of what you're trying to provide?
Okay, so I will tell you two stories. One is the Oyo room and second is with a tourism board. So see, once you have something unique with you, you can easily go to anyone and tell about it and then get your thing done. So the road trip which we went, like Chaitanya, me and another friend, we planned a road trip. I bought a new car, EcoSport, in 2016, and we decided that we will drive down to Spiti Valley. So I started from Mumbai. I picked them up from Madhya Pradesh, and then we went to Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, and then via return we came from Rajasthan, Gujarat, and back to Mumbai. So at that time, I wanted the trip cost to be minimized as much as possible. So I told these guys that I will take care of the diesel part, and then we will figure out something for our stay and food. That thing we will divide. And then eventually I thought, let's try to find out some kind of thing where we can reduce this cost and minimize this cost. So I sent an email to Oyo Rooms that we are a drone technology company, do this kind of work. We have a lot of clients, and one of our team is going to execute some project in the northeast of India and north part of the India. And what we can do is, wherever we stay for the project, we will take one aerial footage of that specific city and few aerial images, and then we will give it to you for your promotion. So on your Oyo Room page, for example, Jabalpur, we will give you aerial footage of Bhedaghat Fall, waterfall, and you put it on your channel and you promote your business in Jabalpur. And they like the idea because they have no that kind of investment. They don't have to do anything. They just have to arrange our travel, our stay. So they said that, okay, you do one thing. We assigned you that you can stay up to 4,000 rupees property, and at the end of the trip, you give us the vouchers, whatever the billings, you pay in advance, and then we will reimburse you. So we stayed in our trip. We used to find the best properties which is under 4,000 rupees. So our search criteria was find out the properties between 3,500 and 4,000 rupees. And we used to find the best property for our stay. We used to go check out the property and then book the property. So like that, we stayed in around 15 properties during this 45 days of trip. And the total expense of the stay was somewhere around 50,000-60,000 rupees that we got back. So this is how, once you have some kind of a skill or some unique things, you can also utilize that project skill or a tool to get back or, barter your services. Similar thing happens with Andaman tourism. Me, along with 3 more friends, we decided to go Andamans. So now asking free things for 4 people is very difficult. So initially I dropped that idea that we will not do any kind of bargain, because at the end I have to do aerial video editing and all, and 3 people will just chill. So I said, let's not do it. We will go spend our own money and properly, whatever, divide those expenses. But at the time was coming close when we landed at Port Blair airport. I thought, yeah, it's too much of expense, to find out a place to stay, to go around, to find a local transport. I said, okay, guys, let's try. Let's go to tourism department and see what can be done. So we 4 people went to tourism director's place. I told these 3 people to just wait at the reception. I went at the reception. I told them that कि director sir हैं क्या? So they said कि हाँ हैं. So I told them कि director sir को बोलो मुंबई से प्रांशु आया है. So they were like कि ठीक है, मतलब सर ने किसी को बुलाया होगा. So she went to director and said, sir, प्रांशु मुंबई से प्रांशु आपसे मिलने आए. So director was also, ये mainland से कौन आया है? So he said, okay, भेजो. So I went there. I told him clearly, sir, see, I came here for 10 days trip. I don't have any travel plan, but we do drone related video, and we have done this for Udaipur Tourism. I said 2-3 names, and you can check out these videos. So I showed him videos which I have done previously for different cities. Of course, the drone was very new for them also. So they said, very nice, very nice. What you want to do? I said, I'm here for 10 days. You arrange my travel, logistic, transport. Whatever I will shoot, I'll give you a copy for you to use for your tourism. So he said, okay. He called his person. He said कि इनका एक room कल उधर book करा दो और इनके साथ एक बंदे को भेज दो. So I said, sir, एक room नहीं, actually we are 4 people. So he was like, okay. Then because he also now wanted that kind of content, so he said his guy to arrange 2 rooms everywhere. So from next day onwards, there was a tourism guy with us, and all of our travel, transport and food was taken care of. We were not aware of the geography of Andaman. We had no plans, but then on that day they made us a complete tour plan. Like first day you go here, second day you go visit these places, third day you shoot this. So we used to fly drone at places where you can't fly drone. For example, we have taken a shot of cellular jail, where there is a headquarter of all 3 air base, naval base and all. So we got to shoot a lot of content which is unique, and all our transport was taken care of. Like he used to just call the commercial ferry service that we have 4 people from mainland. They are guest of tourism director. We want 4 seats from from Port Blair to Neil Island, and we used to get our tickets ready. So all those hassle of finding tickets, finding a stay place. You used to get stay at all the tourism properties, which otherwise is booked because it's all VIP quota and all. So you never get to get those properties to stay in. We got to stay in very good government properties over there. We used to go in such places which otherwise we would not be able to go because they are either in extreme places where there is no transport facility. So that's how I utilize this drone tool to get my Andaman trip funded, kind of. Yes.
So, Pranshu, do you I like I have been following you for a long time, and you have a lot of travel videos,
Yes.
right? Like you go to every place and
Yes.
shoot. Do you publish this on like stock videos and all?
Yes. So
And how does that work as a business or as a
very,
like?
very interesting point. So see, everything what you do has a kind of output which can be utilized by someone else, and you can fetch a commercial value out of it. So in my case, whenever I'm doing commercial projects, that is another thing that is fetching me commercial value. When I'm traveling for myself, I'm flying drone as a hobby, and as I love creating visual content, I create visual content. And then I started collecting all this video and create a stock platform of my own. So this is this is started. For example, once I created an account on Shutterstock to sell one of my image. So that image got sold, and it got published in a front page advertisement of some company. I checked my Shutterstock account. It was not showing any sale value because they said the account is updated every month. So I contacted that company from where you got this image. They said we bought it from Shutterstock, and they shared the invoice with me. So that invoice was worth for 25,000 rupees. And after a month, when my account is reflecting that sale, the amount was like 5,000 rupees, which was like 30% of 25,000. So I said, why I'm giving 70% amount of this company? It's all my effort. Why they are fetching more value out of it? So I closed my Shutterstock account, and then I created on my own website, I created an interface. I'll just quickly take you through. I'll share the screen. So this is India map, where you can click on a specific state and all the videos from that specific state will pop up. So for example, if I click on Rajasthan, here I can see a lot of drone shot of Rajasthan. They are all hosted on YouTube channel. For example, if I want to see this Mehrangarh footage, I will click here, and the video is being played from YouTube. So the buyer, whoever have inquiry for this stock shot, can see the footage over here. And if they like a specific shot, they can click a send inquiry button, name, email, and then this specific link will come on my email that someone has inquired for this specific shot. Then I see who the person is. I see their background. For example, if you send this email from your production house email ID, I'll check how big is your production house, and then I'll quote you the cost accordingly. So we have a lot of videos like this. If you click on Maharashtra, you will see a lot of shots from Maharashtra. These are all landscape shot, agriculture shot, shots related to ongoing things. For example, you can see lockdown shot, shots of monument, shot of city infrastructure. There is also a keyword search. For example, if I write train, so all the shots which are related to train will pop up. So if you are looking a shot where you want to show a malgadi or a passenger train, so you can find all those kind of drone shot over here. It's specifically for the drone shots. So now, as you know, flying drone is very difficult. Not everyone has that kind of visual sense. So in our platform, we have best of the aerial shots of the country. So initially, I like 90% of हाँ.
Yeah, this train shot was also selected for some movie, right? Like as a
Yes. So we sell these shots to production houses like who make films or BBC or HBO. So one of the shot was in the movie Secret Superstar. It was an opening shot. So once first shot got sold, we were like very happy. Now it's a habit, so we don't publish it anymore. That who is buying our shot, because it's now a daily affair. We used to sell like if I give you a figure, let me tell you how we value the shot. So for example, I already told you it's like Matha Dekho Tilak Lagao. If you are HBO, I will give you a cost in dollars. If you are a UK production house, I'll give you a cost in pounds, because I know that this is your requirement. You can't come to India to shoot a single shot. So I give them costing accordingly. If you write in email that our edit is already done, this project is going to launch after 4 days, we want this shot, then the cost will also increase, because I know your edit table has logged this shot. You desperately need this shot. So my cost will be according to that. So max to max, we have sold a shot like 25,000 rupees per second. So someone needed a 5-second shot, like 2 shots, total 10 seconds. It was some company of South Korea. They wanted a monastery shot. We sold that for 25,000 rupees per second. So just 10 seconds of video made us a revenue of 2.5 lakhs. So once, like initially I used to have like 99% videos on my platform belongs to me itself. And now I started collaborating with different drone pilots, because now I can't go to each and every place. So we have contributors on our platform, where now we give 70% to the contributor and we keep 30% as our operational fee, communicating with client, editing footages, putting them online, and maintaining that platform. So now we have a lot of flyers from South India, North India, West side, East side, who provide us their content to provide us new shots every time. So this is how the platform is now working. So you can go to pixel2.com/stock, and here you can see a lot of drone shots related to various segments.
Bhargav, we can't see you. I don't know if maybe your connection has gone. So Surabhi has a question that what are the legalities of shooting people? Is there no privacy issue? Would it be different if you were shooting in the US or Europe? Are privacy policies more strict or stringent?
Yes, in India, there is no as such policies right now. So till the time there is no policy, we don't think about, taking care of those things. But once the policy will come here, then we have to be specific when we are shooting. It can also apply to the private properties also. Like for example, right now in stock, we have a lot of shots of the private residences. For example, we have shot of Ambani's home also. But once the legality will come, then we'll have to have a property release from the property owner. So by the time the policy is not there, we are just shooting.
So I have ended up becoming the host of the conversation inadvertently. Okay, so does anybody have any questions that they want to ask Pranshu? And up until then, Pranshu, can you tell us about the time you were arrested in Spiti, in Giu, by the, yeah.
So when me and Chaitanya were in Spiti Valley, we went to a monastery called Giu Monastery. There is a ITBP camp on the base of the monastery. And we thought, let's, till that time we have not used our drone in that particular area. So we thought, let's start shooting from this monastery itself. It was a new monastery there. So we thought the shot will be, very unique. It's a new structure. There was a ITBP camp at the base, and there was one ITBP Jawan near the monastery. So I asked him कि यहाँ पे हम कैमरा उड़ा सकते हैं क्या? Maybe he was not aware about the drone. So he said हाँ फोटो ले सकते हैं. I said ठीक है, इसने बोल दिया अभी कैमरा उड़ा सकते हैं, so we can fly the drone. So I took off the drone. I hovered it for around 15-20 seconds to see his reaction, but he didn't give any reaction as such. So we thought he is okay with it. And then we were taking a zoom out shot of the monastery. As soon as I zoomed it out and sent it to a distance, it was flying over the ITBP camp. I was not aware that what is happening at the camp now. And once I landed the drone, I was like, I saw around 15-20 Jawans coming to me. And as soon as I landed the drone, they all surrounded me. These people were at the monastery roof. They were not able to see me. And I was surrounded by 20 Jawans. My height is not very, I'm not very long. And those Jawans were like double of my height. As they were, they ran on this mountain to see who is flying the drone. They were not able to breathe. And so I told them that I was, taking shot of this monastery, see the shot, but wo bhag ke aaye the, they were not able to speak. After some time, jab unko saans aayi thodi, so they started shouting that कौन हो तुम, कहाँ से आए हो, टेररिस्ट हो, चलो नीचे साहब के पास. They took all the equipment out from our car. We were 3 photographers, Chaitanya, me and one more friend. We were having our own 3 different bags of equipments. They took all the equipments, took at the base, and वो वहाँ पे जाके उन्होंने नीचे सजा दिए. जैसे you see those आतंकी, when they get caught, they're all बंदूक, गोली, bums. They arrange on a table for a photo. So they took all our equipment and then they put it there. Then their head, the boss came. Then he started shouting, "Kaun ho tum log? Atanki ho, show us your passport," and all. And then we said we are students. They said, "What student? You have big lenses over here. Who student carry 4 lenses?" Means we were having around 15 lenses altogether and 5 cameras. So they were like, students don't carry this much stuff. You are on some mission, of course. So they started interrogating us. And one of them was, shouting really bad. I told these 2, like Chaitanya and Bharat, that don't answer anything. Just listen what they are shouting. So for around 15 minutes, we were silent. And this army guy was just shouting on us that you are terrorist, you are this, you are that. Now we will give this case to intelligence bureau. Now they will investigate this case. And after that, when this guy was, tired, then another guy came. They said, "Kya hua?" So now I started communicating with that guy. I said, "Sir, aisa hai. We are students. We shoot for tourism. We thought to make some content for Himachal tourism as well. And then we used drone. So we were not aware that drone is not allowed over here." So he said, "Ki batao kya shoot kiya?" So I showed him the video in my phone cache. He said, "Delete this video." I said, "Okay." So I deleted the video from phone cache. The actual footage was in my drone. He said, "Drone कितने का है, उड़ा के दिखाओ." मैंने बोला, "सर इतने का है, कितना दूर जाता है?" I said, "It can go only 100 meters to be on a safer side, so that I don't ऐसा ना लगे कि my drone has very high capability." So he said, "कितना दूर जाता है?" I said, 100 meters. He said, "उड़ा के दिखाओ." So he said, "वहाँ पे भेजो." So once he went 100 meters, I said, "सर और आगे नहीं जा रहा." So he said, "ऊपर ले जाओ." So I took it 50 meters. I said, "सर लिमिट हो गई, अभी कनेक्शन फेल हो रहा है." So he said, "Okay, get it back." We landed it. Then he got like all the information. कहाँ से आए हो, पापा का नाम क्या है, show us your identity card and all. Then he called my home from a satellite phone. My father picked up the call. He said, "Where is your son?" So पापा को भी exactly पता नहीं था where we are. He said, "वो कहीं घूमने गए हुए हैं." So he said, "अच्छा." So पापा बोले, "आप कौन बोल रहे हैं?" So he said, "I am calling from border force." And then he hung up the phone. And my family was, they were like अभी ये border से phone आया है, अभी क्या कांड कर दिया पता नहीं. So अब हमारा phone पे तो connection नहीं था. We got connection at the night when we reached to another place, and then that time I called my parents. By the time here they got all the investigation. कौन है, कहाँ से आए हैं, क्यों कर रहे हैं. Then I said, okay, let me show you some videos what we have done previously. Then I showed him Andaman videos. Then I showed him Udaipur videos and other videos. I said, sir, we really want to, boost tourism of this country, and government is not at all doing anything. And so we thought, let's do this kind of content, shoot this kind of content by our own investment and time. So once we said that and show this kind of content, it was a 100%, topple. They were like, you are doing great work. इतना बढ़िया काम कर रहे हो आप लोग, इससे तो देश का कितना फायदा होगा. बट देखो बच्चों, क्या है ना, इधर पास में चाइना है, अभी वो ड्रोन देख लेंगे तो उनका सैटेलाइट ऊपर है, उनको ड्रोन दिख गया तो वो हमला कर देंगे. अभी आप तो इधर से चले जाओगे, 2 घंटे बाद इधर हमला हो जाएगा, तो फिर हमारे पास तो कुछ है ही नहीं यहाँ पे अभी करने को, फिर हम क्या करेंगे. तो it was like completely turned. So they said abhi chai vai pee ke jao. Then they made chai for us. Then we gifted some calendars to them कि हमारे अच्छे photos का एक calendar है. So Bharat was having one calendar with him. He gave him. So ऐसे करके we get out of that situation. We were like जहाँ पे हम पहले arrest होने वाले थे. We took that condition, means हमने उस situation को understand किया. जो हम पे ज़्यादा चिल्ला रहा था, जो हमसे लड़ने के लिए खड़ा था, हमने उसको उसका पूरा time दिया. और वो जब शांत हो गया तो हमने फिर उससे कम्युनिकेट किया जो थोड़ा शांत था. सो वैसे करके सिचुएशन हैंडल करते थोड़ा आना चाहिए. लाइक यू डोंट हैव टू बी एग्रेसिव ऑल द टाइम कि अरे ऐसे कैसे. तो वैसे करके वो सिचुएशन हैंडल हो गई. अराउंड 5-6 घंटे हमारा यू कैन से हमको रोस्ट किया उन्होंने ओवरऑल, एंड देन वी गॉट आउट ऑफ दिस सिचुएशन. दे ऑल्सो सेड अभी तुमको आगे कहीं ड्रोन उड़ाना हो तो हमारा नाम ले लेना. We said okay. बोले बस बॉर्डर के पास मत उड़ाना. So that's how there are a lot of drone related stories with us, because we travel also, and every time something happens on some trip, so we have a lot of stories like that.
Now we'll take questions from
Yes.
people. Surbhi had posted a question. Basically, how are
I asked that one. We discussed that while you were offline.
Okay. Sorry, my internet had got disconnected. Anyone from the audience want to like interact? If you are on PC, you can do raise hand. We'll get you on the stage, or you can type in the chat.
Pranshu, we would like to upload this video after this meeting. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
As it is. Okay. We'll ask you like if you want to edit something. We can
Sure.
do that. Okay, we have Sarvesh asking a question. Hi Sarvesh. Sarvesh, you can ask now. Think his mic is not working.
You can type here, Sarvesh.
Sarvesh, can you speak now? Okay, he is typing.
Nitin is saying that there is so much to learn from your stories. Can you share some more? So,
Do you have like a story blog or something where we can? It will be amazing content.
I'm a good storyteller when people are in front of me, but I don't like write or post a video blog kind of thing.
Right.
and mostly you will not find Pranshu telling his stories. As I sent another link before, you guys might have seen. It will be other people telling his stories. You know, I came across this guy and he's doing this and that, and you will find him on so many websites that are not even his own. So that is a comment on how interesting he is as a person.
Himanshu is asking, as more people start to get into aerial photography, do you find there is more competition now, and do you plan to experiment with other medium in the future? So as I said, ki competition aata rahega, but you also have to be one step ahead, because आप ऐसे ही first mover advantage हो, तो you have to also find new things so that you can, you know, integrate something new with your existing thing. So you always have to be one step ahead. Of course, competition is there. Like some of the times we don't get the project because someone is quoting a lower price, but at the same time we also know that who is getting it done on a lower price is compromising on quality. And it also happens that someone has hired someone else, got the work done, but was not satisfied, and then they came back to us again. They spent twice, but they learned it. So now they don't go to anywhere else and come to us. But of course, competition is, you know, increasing day by day, and we have to find out, of course, a new medium. So there is no doubt that I'm also searching for new things which are coming into the market. But again, I will, you know, integrate it with my own thing so that a base is there. Sarvesh is asking, have you experimented with 3D photogrammetry? No, it's very technical, and I have not yet done any 3D photogrammetry projects, because there are a lot of companies who do GIS and photogrammetry. Because in that you just have to, you know, draw a flying path over the map, put the drone, and just start the mission, and then drone do everything automatically. So there is not a requirement of any specific art or a visual sense or something. It's like a labor work then.
I have one more question till someone else asks. Like how, like when you take aerial panoramas, how do you compose? Like, you know, you said that you don't want to scale up your team because people work differently. Then how do you compose those things? Because at the end you are capturing the reality, like, you know, it's as it is. There is less layer of other thing involved. So how do you compose your shots?
No, I didn't get your question.
So sorry. Okay. Basically, you shared that you don't want to scale up having different people because they shoot very differently, and you work very differently. So in terms of composition, like when you plan your shoot, what are things, like how do you compose, how do you plan?
Okay, what makes my thing different from what others do?
Yeah, you can say
okay,
that.
so the first thing is the direction, like geography. So for example, if I'm shooting in Bombay, where my client's requirement to have a good sea view, so here the sea is on the west side. So if I have to shoot a property which is near to sea, I will shoot it before 12 o'clock, so that the light is coming from the east side and it's reflecting the blue of the west into the sea. So my sea would look blue during the first half of the day, while when in the second half my sea color would look gray. So this is a very basic thing in photography, and people don't have this kind of knowledge. So what happens if you say someone to go and shoot? He will just go as per his time convenience. Maybe he will go at 3 p.m. and 3 p.m. of the day. At that time, the sea would look gray, while my sea is looking blue. So why it's happening? That guy don't have that knowledge because he don't know the photography aspect. Other thing, for example, if you see in Mumbai, it's a coastal place. So here you have high tide and low tide. So for example, if I have to take a 360-degree panorama of a property which is near to coast, Before I commit the day, I have to see the tide chart. So I see when the high tide is happening. If I shoot the property during the low tide, I will see a lot of empty space in front of the property because the water has gone back to the sea. So I plan those shoots basis on tide chart. So I first see when the tide is happening, and I then go to the side at the tide when the water is on the highest level. So when you shoot at that kind of place, means that kind of time zone, you of course will get a good image. So, you know, and high tide and low tide, there's a lot of difference. And low tide, the water really go back and you see all the kachra of the sea. So these kind of small details create an impact and a difference. Now, I also don't want to say, you know, these things to the competitors or people whom I'm getting the work done. Otherwise, they will also know these things which is making difference. So why I will tell in and out of my things to the person.
Now we have Aditya Lad. He is asking, have you made content with racing drones? Are the laws different for using such kind of drones?
So the racing drones are very interesting and now taking place, though I have not started it because that needs again a practice from ground level zero, whereas I'm pretty much occupied with my running projects, and in Mumbai I don't get a empty place to go and practice. There is not open areas like big grounds where I can go and practice. So there is a obstacle, something like this, a challenge where I can't, you know, practice properly. Though I can practice on my laptop, like computer with a simulator, but again, I'm occupied with running projects. I don't get time to explore this racing drone thing. Rules again means right now the rules are completely gray area. There is no policy at place right now. The policy it plays in a draft format, but when government will come up with the rules, it's not yet decided. Nitin is asking what more you think can be added to your idea of aerial experience. So a 360 camera can be added to aerial platforms so that it will give you a VR kind of experience. Then you can means yeah, once you have the content, you can decide how to use that content. It can be a part of VR, it can be a part of AR, it can be a part of any other application. Ipsita is saying in aerial photography, what I saw in your pics, it captures a lot of typical character of the city. I see art in that, but how come the professor art was missing? Professor say art was missing. So many question is how differentiate between. My question is how you differentiate between aerial photography with art one. Okay. So like means I don't maybe like see I don't have knowledge of art, so I say I'm not an artist, because if I say I'm an artist then वो that kind of वो एक अलग आ जाता है कि हाँ मैं आर्टिस्ट हूँ, या फिर मुझे आर्ट के बारे में इन एंड आउट पता होना चाहिए. मुझे वो सब नहीं पता है, इसलिए आई डोंट से आई एम एन आर्टिस्ट. मैं ये कहता हूँ कि हाँ मैं फोटोग्राफर हूँ क्योंकि मुझे विजुअल कंपोजिशन पता है. अगर वो किसी के लिए आर्ट है तो ठीक है मैं आर्टिस्ट हूँ, बट मैं खुद को आर्टिस्ट नहीं बोलता बिकॉज मुझे इन एंड आउट ऑफ आर्ट नहीं पता है. लाइक इफ यू शो मी अ पेंटिंग, अभी पीछे जो पेंटिंग लगी है वो तो मेरे मामा ने बनाई है इसलिए मैंने घर में लगा रखी है, बट इफ यू टेल मी कि डिफाइन दिस पेंटिंग, आई कांट डिफाइन. और इफ यू से कि ये फोटो है, राइट 1000 वर्ड स्टोरी अबाउट दिस, आई कांट राइट. लाइक NID में यही होता था, जहाँ पे मैं ये पढ़ के गया था कि अ फोटो स्पीक्स 1000 वर्ड. NID में उल्टा होता था, यू हैव टू टेक अ फोटो एंड देन राइट 1000 वर्ड्स टू एक्सप्लेन इट. सो वो कॉन्सेप्ट मुझे समझ में नहीं आता था. So that's how my aerial photography is different from the art photography. I create beautiful visuals. Of course, that is a visual art, but I don't know anything apart from that. So I'm not an artist.
Okay, I think. Okay, one more. Are you a craftsman then? They are asking. Ujjwal is
Yeah,
asking.
whatever you want to say. Maybe I'm a technician.
This is interesting. Like in like few years ago, we had done your math session, and there also we had this kind of conversation. Where okay, I think we can conclude the session. It's already 1.5 hours.
Yes.
Very interesting stories and work. So I think Nalini will give like concluding note, and then we'll close it.
Okay.
Yeah, Nalini.
Am I audible? Okay. First of all, thank you, Pranshu, for sharing your journey from academia to making your place in the commercial world. That too with a medium which is being seen as not very commercially viable and quite competitive. Also, the way you have put strategies to establish yourself is commendable. And it was nice knowing the technicalities of running a business on visual content. So thank you for that. And we enjoyed listening to your stories, especially planning your trips and how to cope with situations in which you would find yourself. And thank you.
Sure.
And thank you, community, for coming to the
Maybe
platform
we
and
can have another
connecting with us.
talk on which is,
Yes,
specifically focused on travel aspects. So I can tell maybe travel stories or travel videos and how I find places for, how I find unique places, how to
true.
see Google Maps and how to find out a place where usually people don't go.
I
So,
think we'll surely do a travel story session some point of time in the
Sure.
future.
it's really interesting, I think. Okay.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Pranshu, and
Thank
thank
you.
you
Thank you.
everyone for joining
Yes.
in. Rishabh is asking for one more session. Noted. We'll plan it in the future. Okay. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Thanks.